First of all, if you were to say at the beginning of the year that Toronto was losing in the first round, I think we would have felt this would have meant massive changes in hockey operations, behind the bench, and on the roster. I don't feel that way tonight. They lost. They finished fourth in the regular season, and they lost by 1 goal in Game 7 to the two-time defending Stanley Cup champions who put on a clinic in the third period tonight. I don't think this team needs massive changes on or off the ice. I think maybe there need to be some tweaks made, Kelly, but I think if you're looking at this organization and saying we have to fire everybody or make massive changes, I think you're making a big mistake.
I would agree that nobody needs to be fired. I think they've done a wonderful job in the front office, coaching staff. I have no problems. There has to be changes on the ice. Tampa, they were beatable. This was a year that you could have beaten Tampa. They had a goaltender that played ordinary for 6 games. Now, Vasilevsky, this was his best game tonight. Toronto lost this series in Game 4 when they had a horrible effort, when they could have gone up 3-1 in that series. They lost it in Game 6 when they had a 3-2 lead in the third period. Now, you can argue there was a bad call, maybe. I don't buy it. This team, they need changes on the ice.
You want it first?
You go ahead now.
Well, I'll say maybe it was winnable like later in the series. Sorry, earlier in the series, but later, like the last 2 games, we're going to show the shot blocks here. Like, this is a championship team, and this team gets
in Game
it done.
7, yes.
And yeah, but just watch the level of compete here. And watch, like, the Leafs had so many chances that didn't get to the net. I don't know what the final shot block total was. It was like probably in the 30s, but the Leafs got a little gun shy here because there were so many blocks, every single guy in the team. It was a very calm, you look at their bench, they look at their dressing room, they just knew what to do, Jen.
Well, they did, but I'm going to go back a little bit to this approach on what they do, because whether they didn't adjust as necessary during certain games to figure out what is the solution. Yes, we've done things this season we've never accomplished before as a group. Individuals have had career bests, but they couldn't find a way to get the puck through or make in-game adjustments to get those results and to get a win in the playoffs.
So they lose Braden Point. That's another thing. But, you know, the funny thing, Kelly, about Tampa is they did not win a division any of these 3 seasons. They were a second and third place club in their division.
Just get in, and they trust themselves.
So they do seem to have
Remember
playoff.
the mistakes they were making earlier in the series? We're like, wow, this is not the Tampa Bay team we're used to. They didn't make any of those tonight. No mistakes.
Tampa played great tonight. I stand by my word.
Yes, and you know, you got to give credit to Brisebois for picking up Nick Paul